When I woke up this morning, I asked myself whether I should stay in bed a little more or actually get out of it. This is a question I ask myself every day. I am Andrea Lissoni. I'm the artistic director at Haus der Kunst in Munich. I'm relatively fine. I'm recovering from a ACL surgery, therefore I'm doing a lot of physiotherapy. What happened? You're gone. Yeah, I'm there. So I am Andrea Lissoni. I'm the artistic director of Haus der Kunst in Munich, and I'm actually basically doing two main things. I'm programming, therefore I'm composing a program in which exhibition, like music and sound component, and live exhibition and performance and engagement and learning are all on the same level for achieving the second thing I'm doing, transformation. So I'm transforming the institution quite dramatically and bring it to a different stage, a new stage. And this takes almost entirely time. I'm recovering from a ACL surgery that I had exactly a month ago. I've been dealing with accidents when I was a teenager for many years. I was playing football and basketball professionally. That meant that I always had something broken. But this is the first time after a long time that I deal with serious surgery. The real question when recovering from such a surgery is that you get very quickly tired. Venice is a town that is asking a lot in terms of movement. I always walked. I really rarely take the boat, the vaporetta. Venice is not really a place to dance, but if I think about sites where I've been dancing, recently and throughout the years, I will say always either the very end of the Arsenale in that area called Gaggiandre. That's a site where I have been dancing quite a lot during the last music Biennale, so October last year. The program was outstanding, but I often have been dancing in a place where when I was very young, I've been playing basketball, which is the Church of La Misericordia, a non-working church that was used as a basketball court, like for the professional team, for the Serie A team of Venice. And then became an exhibition site. This is going to be a unusual Biennale because the person who was asked with her team to lead it, to conceive it, passed away more than 1 year ago. That means that you cannot really engage with thinking emotion of a person and her team. You cannot read her voice and listening to her voice that helps giving hints and an indication. Of course, her team is there, but it's nevertheless different because she came up with a title and she came up with a specific journey. For me, one of the most important publications ever, the collection of Mike Kelly about minor histories. In fact, very, very relevant. I was curious to see what kind of take the curator has on minor histories. In general, I am very selective, and there are some pavilions I don't visit in principle. And I expect this will be the case for the Russian pavilion for me this year. US pavilion has a wonderful tradition. One applies, so there are organizations, museums, institutions that can apply and present an artist. It's a public approach. In this case, things didn't go this way, and similarly to the Russian pavilion, I suppose I will walk, but I guess I won't see anything that for me is relevant. The way the US is representing itself in this moment, no? Which is not only the one dominated by the image of the president on the media, but also the one that in tech is so interesting. No? It's like actually we are facing a new form of soft imperialism. And so it would be interesting to see what the posture of artists in the US is about this post-imperialism that is more connected to the IT and the tech industry than the actions that the presidency is triggering all over the world. It's been possible to acquire at the Venice Biennale for many, many decades. And then the status has changed. There were a moment of fantastic friction, mostly in the late 60s and early 70s. The protests that happened there, the posture that happened there, the directors that took a specific position. So there have been so many changes, and the instability, it's a little bit like its nature. The choices of the jurors are always, like, of course, very rushed and of course divisive, but to be honest, they're not so fundamental. A powerful artwork makes it true, a powerful pavilion makes it true anyway. So now the fact that everyone will be asked to vote their own pavilion, it's quite interesting, quite curious. Well, I mean, society transforms, also the biennial will need to transform. So I don't see it as necessarily as a bad sign. Of course, there are reasons why now there is an award given by the public. These are complicated and, let's say, connected to the political climate. The Venice I love is the Venice of the area of the stadium, which is one of the most beautiful stadiums in Europe, in my opinion. So behind the Giardini, and a little bit the area of St. Elena, behind Via Garibaldi and the Giardini. I find it always fantastic. There is a Venice I don't know. It's the Venice of the film festival. There's a groundbreaking director, Alberto Barbera, who's doing an excellent work, who's been really establishing Venice as probably the most important European festival, regardless of Cannes. I lived a little bit in Venice. If there was a town where I would like to live, beside Munich, I always say Venice. The most important, Venice has no cars, which for me it's a major question, because the level of silence, the connection to the water, the connection to nature is very different. I have a personal love for the islands, and mostly the islands that are, of course, the islands of the lagoon, the islands that are slowly now be considered by the art world. L'isola di San Giacomo, l'isola di Sant'Andrea in particular, but also the very end of the Lido direction south. The area I would love to be involved in any form of transformation, just to consider that Venice is not only that incredible and wonderful town, like miraculously surviving and on water, but it's also made on many green courts that are scattered throughout the lagoon. I think unlikely pavilion would need to exist. I think it would be important if it was existing as a counter model to what a pavilion is, an open form of gathering happening like rhizomatically throughout the years, always in different places, like the same place throughout one biennial. This will be important because what is happening in the Venice Biennial, the other side, which is the side I actually am more concerned with, it is high privatization of the biennial and high presence of companies that are not only, let's say, slowly taking over Venice, but are also actually making Venice a side of representation. It's been always, right, because it's been always the side of representation of individuals and companies in the 3rd, 14th, 15th, 16th century and so on. But there were native companies or individuals or families. Now what is fashion brands and conglomerates and individuals and foundations hiding behind powerful postures that are occupying rather than inhabiting, and this is something I'm actually quite concerned with. Therefore, I really hope and will do everything possible to support unlikely pavilions throughout the next years.